Next one down is set size. Now, I've got this set up really simply. So again, it's a where are we? It's a Boolean value, and it's just saying that if I've got the Boolean ticked, it's going to be one size. If it's unticked, it's going to be another. But of course, you can make it more complicated than this. You can link it to drop-down variables and various other things to actually have greater control over what this size change is going to do. But you can see there the kind of thing it's doing. It's just taking that entire field and it's resizing the entire field to what you specify it to be. So let me show you the options that we have available when specifying this. There's a few more options for this one. So again, we start off with our conditions. We specify our actions where we specify one of our fields, and then we go to set size. Now, there's a few different options we have in here. So we have the ability to just modify the height in isolation, the width in isolation, or the height and the width. And if you specify any of those, you then get the resulting option to be able to either do absolute height, width, or both, or a relative height, width, or both. So absolute will just be you specify what that size is going to be. Relative is a relative change from the current size. So for example, I've just got width specified here as absolute, so my width is going to be 100. Another thing we have in here is the ability to actually match existing fields. So if you don't want to sort of specify individual heights and widths, so if I go to match field, you can specify another enabled field, which is on your canvas. And then you've got additional options in there. So then you can say, okay, well, I want this to match the width of that field, or the height, or the width and the height. We also have some additional text options in there as well. So if these are text fields, you have the ability to base those changes on the actual text within the fields and control the text within the fields rather than just the fields themselves. So text width, text height, text width, height. Okay, now, something I should probably note to the developers, actually, this doesn't have a unit on there. I think this is, if it's the same as position, I think it's a point value. Yes, I'll confirm that, but I think it's a point value. So when you're actually specifying a value in here, make sure that, and if you're referencing your actual InDesign product, make sure that you've got the same units specified in InDesign as well. Otherwise, it's going to start getting quite confusing. You probably know how to do this. Most of you probably know InDesign a lot better than I do. But just to show where you can change those units if you need to, if I can remember. So if I go to Edit, Preferences, and then Units and Increments, I can change my units as necessary. So for example, if I change this to points, click on OK, and then click on one of those fields, if I go to the Properties tab, I can now see what the height and width of that particular field is in point values, which is what MegaEdit is going to use.